It's Thursday. I almost said Friday. Jeez.
It's almost Friday.
It's almost Friday. Man, this has been one hell of a week. I don't know if you're feeling it the same as I am, but I'm feeling like it's just like shooting by.
It has.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't help starting the short week, and then it's just even for me a whole different job. It's just been nonstop. Like,
yeah. Well, Megan and I played hooky part of Tuesday.
Speaking of, I shouldn't be in the top corner.
Whatever.
I know.
I actually was like, I kind of wanted to be out of the focus today.
Aw.
But no, I'm fine.
Maybe we'll cut it. Maybe we'll cut it short today.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm not feeling too good.
So Josh is not feeling good. I've been sick for about 2 weeks. Meg was sick. My kid is sick. Our nanny's kid is sick.
My kid's sick. My kid's sick too.
Tomorrow I'm only going to be able to be at the shop for half the day, Josh.
Okay. Because
we don't have a nanny in the afternoon.
I mean, we don't have a ton going on. Why you just stay home all day?
Well, I want to get the scud prepped and stuff and do a few more things. So good news, which I don't know if the dudes happens to be watching or not, but we have someone who's very reasonably interested in the scud. He's flying into town and coming and checking it out over the weekend.
Heck yeah.
So I wanted to make sure it's, presentable and stuff. So yeah. Hooray. Hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It needs to go.
It needs to go away.
Yep.
We actually, so we've got I guess I'm kicking it right off into like inventory, whatever. So we still have the 430 that was converted, the one with the black wheels, the 05. And then the 07 430 that we converted and sold is actually coming back.
Yeah, I saw that in a short, I think.
Yeah. So the dude, the Ferrari bug is real, and the addiction is real, and he wants the 458. So I was like, okay. Unfortunately, we don't have a 458, so he asked us if we would want it back, and we're like, sure. So
cool. Is he just selling it back, or is he doing trade in and taking the credit?
No, like we were trying to do that, and
it was really complicated.
It was getting
long story short.
Fair.
It was getting really complicated, and the amount of money we were going to make off the deal was not worth our time. Like we weren't going to make hardly anything to do a lot of work. So it just was like, eh. So that's why I'm saying like it's time to hustle. Like we got 2 converted Ferraris 430s that are going to be in the shop by Monday or Tuesday, and then we officially fully own Richard's former 430. So we bought it from him, and so it's ours. And so first thing we're doing is we're sending it to get converted. Nice. Let's convert that. It's such a good car, a good candidate for conversion. I mean, it is. It just rolled 8,000 miles,
and it's such a good spec.
It's a really cool spec. It's very, very clean. It's gonna make someone really happy. The clutch should be in excellent condition. We'll pull the clutch reading on it before we do it, but yeah. So that will be next week. It should get converted. So then, besides that, we still have the Viper. We still have the Mustang GT 350. We actually still have that Porsche Targa. It should be done with paint pretty soon. The one from eons ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Oh my God. 16M sold for $621 plus fees.
No thanks.
Wow. I'm guessing it was probably super low mile, really cool spec, whatever, blah blah blah. But that's really fascinating that the 16M is going crazy money, and then there was that Scud that didn't even meet reserve that only got to like 206, which was like depressing. Like it was like, what the I guess like it kind of had some weird stuff about it. Like it had a weird diffuser and some other stuff. So I don't know. Yes, we for sure want to do a GT350 versus Cobra video. I think that would be a fun video.
Heck yeah.
Today I filmed what I'm going to do is just a raw driving video of the Scud just for sound. It's just going to be raw sound Scud driving video because I was like, I haven't really done that and kind of wanted to hear it and blah blah. And then we also want to do that for Josh's car since he's got the exhaust. His is finally running, and yeah, so 352 miles on it. Jeez,
When that poor car, it just needs to be driven.
right?
It'll never get driven.
Yep.
Now
It'll
it's
just-
just too expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever bought it probably drive it once and they'll just park it and they'll just sit there and rot.
Ugh.
Poor thing. Unless he's a hero and just doesn't give a crap. I mean, that'd be amazing, but unlikely.
Yep.
Yeah. The other that 08 that didn't get good money, that didn't meet reserve, it was kind of a weird. It was weird. I didn't like the interior. Like the interior, like for a Scud, the interior was boring. Like the seats were just black. Everything in the interior was just black.
Interesting.
And like it's a Scud. Like you should have two-tone seats. You should have something interesting, like at least a pop of color here or there, stitching, seatbelt, something, like I don't know. Anyway.
We looked at those Ferraris at Meekum and they're all kind of
Yeah.
One of them's a dual supercharged Scud. Like, who wants that?
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange. Do we come across mileage blockers or suspect miles have
that's a
been
good
rolled back?
question.
Whatever. And we don't. Obviously, we never see them in person because by the time we'd buy a car, it would be gone. But I don't think any of the cars we've bought have had indicators of having one. I mean, we try and be cautious of it. Usually, it's like, there's signs that the car has more miles than you think. You can always some of the cars you can check the TCU and see if it lines up with what the odometer says. Because I don't believe the mileage blockers block both.
No, they
Okay.
don't.
So it only tends to block the one in the ECU.
Wasn't there a thing like 10 years ago that basically every used Ferrari had been rolled back from a dealer and there was some big lawsuit thing and then it all just vanished and disappeared? Like,
Yeah, it kind of just went away. I don't think it was like everyone, but it was a lot. I mean, like people were just.
Was that just like the super old cars or just everyone?
No. I mean, you can do it super easy.
Okay.
It's
You just
like
program it with the launch.
yeah, basically. I think we haven't tried it for obvious reasons because it's illegal as hell. But there's a function in the launch that says like odometer and whatever. So I'm like, it'd be interesting. Like, what I'd love to do is maybe like on a car that I don't know, like already has an odometer discrepancy or something where it's no longer relevant. Like, try it, see what happens. I don't know. Or I guess you could change it and change it back.
Yeah, that would work.
I don't know. I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to I don't feel like committing felonies.
Oh, where's your sense of adventure?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty boring in that.
It'd be another Asa for Dan video.
Yeah. Oh, we should. So here's a weird situation. Obviously, I'm not going to give the details about who owns the car or whatever, but so we've been working on this conversion, and the car was sent to us because the F1 system was no longer shifting. Right, it was stuck in neutral, and so this is the weird stuff that happens with cars that are having F1 issues. So the person who owns the car had taken it to Ferrari dealers, whatever, and got multiple different opinions on what actually was wrong with the car. The majority of which was like, classic Ferrari stuff, like replace all the actuators, right? Like replace the entire squid and all that stuff, which would have been like $8,000+.
He said 13 grand.
13. There you go. 13 grand, right? That was the quote from a Ferrari dealership. So we get in there, we do the conversion, and we find out actually it has nothing to do with the F1 system. The F1 system was probably working correctly. It has everything to do with something's messed up with the clutch.
Oh.
Like it will not disengage the clutch. Period.
The throwout bearing is getting stuck halfway.
Yep.
It's getting bound up by something.
Something's causing something weird. So we had to call the guy and be like, hey, yeah, you need a new clutch and throwout bearing and all that stuff. So like the original quote for us to convert this car is gone. Sorry, man. Like we tried. We spent a full day doing everything we could, like just trying to get this damn thing, and it just would not work. So we're like, sucks, bro.
Yeah.
But you need a new clutch and a throwout bearing and all the other stuff that comes with it. So,
dang,
tack on another $7,000+ or whatever. So
it's still probably better you're doing it than a Ferrari dealer. Like, I'm
well,
sure the
and that's
labor
the
there
thing
is.
is we're like, think about this. We're like, dude, man, if he would have taken the Ferrari, they would have spent $13,000 on it, and it still would have been screwed.
Yeah, just
like
painful.
Dude, that would have sucked.
Yeah.
So we're like, we told him, we're like, you definitely made the right choice converting it, because you would have been out more than that if you didn't convert it.
Dang.
So, yeah, I don't know if I want to talk about that one. I guess I will briefly. Technically, from what we understand, Art is still operating under the name EAG. I can't believe anyone is still sending him money or cars, but apparently they are. So I guess the answer is technically yes. May God have mercy on their souls. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yep. Oh man,
sucks. I am staying out of that completely. I have no interest in any involvement in that anymore. I'm sorry. Like if someone reaches out to me after they get screwed inevitably and they want my help, I'm gonna be like, sorry, bro, I'm done with that. There's no reason for me to get involved in any of that. It just, all it causes is pain and frustration and disappointment. So moving along. Magic Lube could unbind that bearing. Maybe. I have a feeling, my prediction is when we pull out that throwout bearing, I think the throwout bearing is actually smashed or damaged somehow.
I bet one of the seals is rolled over inside.
Something in there, something is wrong with that throwout bearing where it's not doing its job. So, yeah. May God have mercy. No, we're not. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many they're doing, but I mean,
I can't imagine EAG is doing any conversions. Like,
I don't know. I mean, because we're kind of one or two at a time, and that's it, right? We keep it kind of slow. So no, we're not doing huge volumes at this point. I'm not even sure that there's a lot of people that even know that we do conversions now. I think a lot of it, I think some of the conversion hype has died down, and it's very much commoditized now. I think there's a lot of people trying to do conversions on their own, and I think situations like what we're experiencing right now is why that's not always the good idea. Like, yes, the DIY stuff's reasonable if you really are technically savvy, but there's a lot of stuff that can be challenging that you come across that, if it happens to you, could suck as a DIYer. So there is goo on the throwout bearing. It could be. I mean, we put the camera in there. Actually, the throwout bearing didn't look horrifically bad, but I mean, who knows, right? You can't see the face of it. So, after all your frustrations with supercar peeps, are you doing things solo now? I'm not.
Peps.
I think it's supposed to be peeps, right?
That's my guess.
Are you only doing things solo? I'm not sure what you mean by, I mean, Josh is my business partner, so no.
I'm guessing conversions. Like you're just doing them yourself.
Oh yeah.
That's my guess.
Maybe that's what. Yeah. Okay. That's probably what. Like, we're in a weird place on the conversions right now. Like we're doing convert. Like I don't know how to explain it. I'm gonna skip explaining it because it's complicated.
There you go.
So I don't have a real good answer for you. Are we? We're not tied to any other companies. Is I guess the way to explain it. Like we have no obligations. I have no financial interest in anyone. I don't care about their success or failure other than it would maybe impact who I can buy parts from or not buy parts from.
There you go.
So I'm put it this way, we still get constantly people asking for my advice or referrals or recommendations about stuff. And what I'm going to tell you is I'm only going to refer you or recommend you come to us because I don't give a shit about anyone else anymore. Sorry. There you go.
Fair enough. And Hugh made it. People were wondering where you were, Hugh. Now you're here.
Yeah. Curious on your thoughts of the value of the twin Scud versus mine. I mean,
I think it's funny someone spent $100,000 on their Scud to make it worth probably $100,000 less than a stock one.
Right. I think it's not going to bring as much money as if it was stock. I don't think. It's going to bring a lot of money because it's low mile. It's only like 2,500 miles or something. But like, why on earth do they twin supercharge it? It just, I don't get it. Whatever. Oops.
Yeah. Why not? Don't do that to that car. I don't know.
The blue car, Richard's car is NART blue, not TDF blue.
Yeah, it's NART. Dan is explaining his lack of loyalty. No, I'm explaining how I got effed by everyone else, so they can go F themselves. Like, I'm done. I'm done being nice. I did a lot for a lot, and I didn't make anything on it. So I'm now trying to make my business successful. So if I don't have a business reason to have a relationship with your business, I'm not going to promote you. Period. We don't promote hardly anyone anymore. If you notice, like it's very, very specific, and we're really particular about promoting people. And that's because I'm going to say like 75% of the promotional stuff we've done has come back to bite me in the ass. Because then someone buys some product and they get mad because it wasn't perfect or whatever. And they come to me, you told me this was to be a good product. You know, I don't make their product. I can only refer you to them. Like, I can't solve that problem. Like people have actually come to us mad that they bought some product from some third party that we promoted in the past and it wasn't meeting their expectations and they wanted us to resolve it. And I'm like, do you call it Michael Jordan when your Nikes are screwed up? Like, no. Like, it's the same thing, man.
Wow. Yeah, that's special. I don't know.
Frustrating. So I hate promoting stuff. And I really have to believe in the company for us to do a promotion. So there you go.
Daniel, the answer to that question is way more than we want to spend.
Oh yeah, we're not doing that.
Not a chance. And
we'd need $1 million+ dollars.
Nobody is. People in Canada are welcome to call us and buy a car.
Yeah,
you're welcome to do so. We actually got a call last week from that guy in Quebec or whatever that offered us a decent amount, and then we realized it was in Canadian. And we were like, oh, never mind.
Yeah,
this is a ridiculous offer.
Yeah, he threw out a number. It was like I think it was like 150 or 160,000 for the converted car, and then he clarified that was Canadian dollars, and we're like, oh, and we do the math, and we're like,
not even close.
Like, dude, you're smoking crack. You're smoking some of that legal weed up there.
Someone's got to. You can't take it all.
Yeah.
I doubt there'll ever be a rev matching thing because there's going to have to be a bunch of sensors and stuff in there.
And I don't think the computers even are capable of doing that, really.
It could be done, but it would be very complicated. And
the trans is not going to have an issue with the twin supercharged Scud. Those transmissions are very stout. It'll be fine. Dan, that is part of retail sales. You have to support product. Not if I don't sell it.
Like, if you just reviewed it and they bought it somewhere else, you don't have to.
Right. No, and here's the thing though, is if we do sell a product that we promoted on our website or whatever, and you come to me, I'm not the one providing the warranty. The manufacturer is. So if there's something like, like someone's had an issue with, I'm just going to use an example. We've had, 1 or 2 anti-gravity batteries where something went wrong with it, right? And they come to us first, which is fine. And we tell them, okay, well, we'll get you in touch with their warranty department, or like, here's their warranty information. Reach out to them. And then that's all we can do. Like, because if I give you a refund or somehow do that, I don't get that money back from them. Right? Like, so now I'm just giving you a free battery basically, and I'm losing $900 or whatever. So no, I'm not going to just do that. I can't. Like, you have to go through their warranty is expressly, stated on their website how it works. And so,
yeah, you still have to buy it from them. So if you give away a free product, you're then left holding the bag. So.
Right. These aren't things that we manufacture. I can't provide the warranty myself because we don't manufacture it. I'm out that money already. So, yeah, that's the stuff we sell. So, I mean, we try and help people, like we don't want to leave them holding the shit bag if something goes wrong. Like we've had issues with exhaust fitments or whatever. That's, by the way, I'm just going to lay this out there. Exhaust fitment issues are super common across the board, period. Even the high-end stuff, there's fitment issues. So these are handmade cars. Stuff gets tweaked, whatever. Stuff's not perfect. They don't all just go right in every single time. So like when you have fitment issues, calm down. Things will be made right. So, and that's the thing. If you, let's say you buy an exhaust from us and it doesn't fit right. And you reach out to us, hey, this thing's not fitting right. Okay, we're going to reach out to the manufacturer. And if they're unwilling to help this situation, we immediately remove them from our website and we no longer sell their shit. This has happened across a couple of brands. So there's some big brands that I know all of you know of that we no longer sell because of issues like that. I'm not going to throw people under the bus, but just saying. There's also we've had certain brands where we've had really high return rates or really high exchange rates because of issues like that, where it's like 25% of the exhaust we sell or 25% of the product we sell doesn't work or has issues or whatever. And if we're dealing with that constantly, we get rid of them because we don't want to constantly be on the phone having irate customers mad at us because we sold them some products from a third party that sucked. So, yeah.
This guy has some kind of issue with with what you're saying. He doesn't believe it. It happens. He's made a few comments like, I can't believe people do that. It happens. People are stupid.
Oh yeah, no, dude.
You obviously haven't worked in retail.
Yeah, it happens a lot. No, we get a lot of. I kind of get it. It's like the people call us first because they know we're going to go to bat for them, right? We're going to do whatever we can to help make it right because that's just who we are, right? Like that's just how we operate. But there are limitations. Like I'm not going to just eat crow and give you your money back if I can't get my money back. Now, there's been some, I'll be honest, there's been like a handful of situations where we lost tons of money to make the customer right against the will of the manufacturer because they were not playing nice. So we've had, like, I had someone order a special part. The manufacturer said it would take a couple months. 6 months later, we still didn't have the part. 9 months later, we still didn't have a part. A year goes by, we still don't have the part. And the person reaches out to me and they're like, dude, like, what am I supposed to do about this? And I'm like, yeah, I know. So I reach out to the manufacturer. I'm like, hey, it's been over a year. the customer wants their money back. And they're like, well, we don't give their money back on special order parts. And I said, all right, that's cool. We're just not going to sell your shit anymore. And I gave him his money. And I told him, I said, look, I'm giving you your money back. I'm losing thousands of dollars on this, but I want to make sure that you don't go away feeling crap about it.
Yeah.
So
that's the downside of being a reseller. Like sometimes you have to do that shit.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Good question.
It is a very good question. I think they're both good, both excellent. I don't know.
Yeah. What do you want to do with it? That's the question.
I'd probably take the 600. It has to be a Spider, though, I think.
I'd probably take the 600.
Unless it has
I
a
love
roof
that
scoop.
exhaust that coming out in the rear like that. That's pretty insane.
I don't know. The 675 looks so much better to me, minus the exhaust.
Casey.
Hey, Casey. I'd take the 675, but
oh man.
if you want to track it, get the 600.
I mean, for that price, though, I'll just get a 720.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've definitely done this where we've gone to bat for a customer and then found out the customer was the one that was.
Oh yeah,
that happens.
That's basically my day job. So.
Right. It happens fairly regularly. People, I mean, you know, like there's a huge spectrum of clients that we deal with. We've got people who are completely reasonable, and we've got people who are not. This is, I guess, the nicest way to say it. You know, I mean, we've had, and that's not just like buying products too. That's also buying cars from us. We've had people who are buying cars from us and are totally cool about, like, you know, willing to work with us. You know, like, because stuff happens. Like we aren't God. We can't make everything perfect. You know, we have yet to sell a perfect car, and I guarantee you we will never sell a perfect car. So please don't expect a perfect car. We try our best to tell you as much as we can about what we know is or is not wrong with that car. Now, that also means that when you leave the shop after you bought the car, we're giving you the condition of that car as we know it as of that moment when you drive off the lot. As soon as you drive off the lot, it is no longer in the same condition as when it was in our shop. So things break, things happen. These are exotic cars. Shit happens all the time on these things. That's just the way it is, man. I can't believe how often we test drive a car, put miles and miles on it, do all this crap on it, and someone gets the car and the next day it breaks. And some people are cool, like they understand it. That's how this is. But other people get all mad and they want us to take care of it. And we're like, dude, it was fine when it left. We don't provide a warranty. It's a 12 or 14 or 20-year-old car or whatever. Shit happens.
Yeah.
No, Richard's car is not perfect. It's absolutely not perfect.
Nope.
I can point out flaws on it. I can visualize flaws on that car.
I can. Now. I don't even know that car as well.
I can tell you it's in very good shape.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's in really good shape. The interior is really close to perfect, but it's not. It's definitely one of the nicest interiors of any car we've had in our shop. It might be the nicest 430 interior we've had in our shop. Yeah. Fred and Casey are getting ready to throw down. Dude, new cars aren't perfect.
Yeah.
Fred, tell them about the first thing that happened when you got your brand new Ferrari. What's the first thing? I mean, come on.
Well, Ferraris especially, like,
it's not even a joke. As soon as people buy a brand new Ferrari, the first thing that they do is send it off to get a paint correction.
Yeah. Because
the paint's shit from the factory. Looks like ass. Oh. Do I need to pay for Tyler's Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce recipe?
I mean, if you're clever, you can find it on the internet. But sure, you can pay me like $20. That'd be good.
Hey, I'll take $20.
Yeah, $20 is $20.
How often do people do a PPI before buying from us? surprisingly less than you'd think. I'm going to say 1 in 10, maybe even less than that. And here's the funny thing is, I don't know how many, like, there's been a few cars where people bought a car from us, something went wrong, or something was not what they expected, even though we tried our best. And they're like, I guess I should have gotten a PPI. And I'm like, I don't know if a PPI would have even caught that.
Yeah.
They aren't, like, PPIs aren't this, like, end all be all panacea where it finds every last thing wrong with the car. I mean, we've seen PPIs that are really good, and we've seen PPIs that are absolute shit. So he's like, give me that recipe.
Oh shoot!
You're sending your money to the wrong person.
Yeah,
I gotta put this comment up. This was the dude that was talking about the customers earlier.
What?
You would be surprised. I can't. What I can't fathom is how some of these people can afford a $200,000 car but can't write a sentence that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, no, it
is absolutely crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't know how they got to be in a position in life where they have that much money. That happens sometimes. Like Josh and I are like,
happens a lot. Scratching
our heads, like, how does this person afford this car? Like, I'm not sure they can tie their shoes, but they do. So okay, yeah. Oh, the mac and cheese recipe.
Oh yeah,
I've got that.
That's priceless.
That is.
That you can't pay for that. You got.
I've got it.
Yep.
He screwed up and gave it to me. Oh, don't worry, I don't give it to anyone. I'm like, no, that's. I act like I have that, like, you know, like, oh yeah, I came up with this. Like,
you might as well. Shit.
So good. My God, I actually have some in the fridge right now. I made it this last weekend.
Nice.
Because I made some barbecue for the holiday. I was like, oh yeah.
Heck yeah.
And that was like, it used to be, everyone always asked for me to make my mashed potatoes. Now they're like, can you make that mac and cheese? I'm like, yes.
Your mashed potatoes are pretty good.
They are good. And that is, I invented that. But, I mean, come on. It's mashed potatoes. There's like 3 ingredients. You just got to give them the right quantity.
There's not many more in that mac and cheese. So.
No, it's true. Is it 5?
Yeah.
Thankfully, she has not hit anything with her car this week.
That wasn't very nice.
Did you get the other one fixed?
I fixed it, yeah.
Okay.
I fixed it. Oh, I got it like 90% fixed. I didn't want to make a claim, so I just bought the parts and fixed it myself.
This is actually kind of true. Like, you need to research who's doing your PPI.
Yeah.
Because, again,
there's some guys that say they do PPIs and they suck.
Yeah. Some of the PPIs are really good. Some of the PPIs are just ass. And I hate to say it, but like everyone's like, oh, well, I'm going to send it to the Ferrari dealership. Even in Ferrari dealerships, PPIs, we've seen really good ones. We've seen really bad ones from Ferrari dealerships. It just depends. So the other thing is, you got to remember, if you send your car to a Ferrari dealership to get a PPI, Ferrari's going to do everything they can to try and get money out of that car. So they will... Their PPIs drive me nuts because they're like,
the other thing about them too is that a lot of times the technicians don't really know the older cars very well.
That's true.
So they're
more sad that like 430s are older now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, there you go, BB. It's in the comments. You paid $20.
Oh, and you give it to the whole everyone?
Yeah, whatever. Again, it's just the Meat Church's recipe. But.
Oh, it's Meat Church? Oh, damn. Yeah. I saw the video where he made that, and I was like, that looks really good. Well, now I can say it is really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of his stuff, but that sauce is good.
You don't like a lot of his? Oh, man, I love a lot of his stuff.
No.
All right. Well, I like his dry rub.
Yeah. Yeah, those are good. Like his ingredients are good. His recipes, I don't care for.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
You know.
The Mexican pulled pork though is choice.
Oh,
that's really good.
I mean, it's kind of hard to screw up pulled pork,
especially when you add a bunch of salt and like peppers to it.
Yeah,
so,
it's
and
so
butter.
Easy. It's the only way you can screw it up is like if you really, really over or undercook it.
Yep.
And 100% PPIs are not a magic bullet. They're
Not at
helpful.
all.
They're helpful, but the other thing I hate about PPIs is that like there'll be something that they find or whatever, and it's maybe debatable of what they found, if it is or is not legitimate, because some of it's opinion, not necessarily fact. You know, it's like, oh, this blah blah, and then all of a sudden people start getting all weird and whatever about the PPI, and they either are like, I demand some lower number, or I'm walking away from the car. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, if you're walking away from this car from that PPI, you're never going to find a car that you like, because they're all going to have issues like this, right? Like it's all a matter of balancing out what you're willing to accept is wrong with the car and deal with, because every car has shit wrong with it, especially Ferraris.
And McLarens.
And McLarens. And any exotic.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, Lemon Squad.
Oh God.
I don't know.
Why would anyone hire Lemon Squad to look at a Ferrari? That's just, you might as well go to the daycare and grab a kid and have them look at it.
Yeah. I don't know about that one. My dad had a 2011 Cali DCT transmission light come on when he was driving it in the beginning of August. Have you had that happen to you in your 458? Well, I don't own a 458, and I haven't for like 3 years, so no. I never had any issues with my 458. We've never had any issues with a DCT on a 458.
It does happen though.
But we know of the DCT transmission light coming on California's and 458s. It does happen. And the problem is it can be a variety of things. I don't know, it could be a speed sensor, it could be a oil pressure issue, it could be like 10 things that cause that. So meh. Yeah, there was a lot of interest in the Cobra, believe it or not. Cost of a good PPI is probably around $1,000 plus or minus a couple $100.
Yeah, that's fair.
Plus travel expenses or whatever, anything.
If somebody knows what they're doing, it's going to be at least $1,000.
At least. I mean, if you're getting a PPI and it's like $300-400.
One thing I've noticed too, a lot of PPIs, they look at all the mechanical stuff on the car and everything, but they don't look for paint work. They don't look for accident damage. They don't look for replaced parts, turned bolts, things like that. So you got to find somebody that really can look the car over. Because even if it's mechanically perfect and it's been in a wreck that's undisclosed, you'd want to know about that.
Yep. Agreed. That's not a bad point. PPIs are good for cars that have issues more than the cars that are pretty clean. The other thing is, I think it really depends on the model of the car. So like I would never buy a 355 without a PPI. Or like inspecting the car myself and doing certain tests on it. Like I would want to know certain things about that car, like the valve guides and compression and blah, blah, blah. Right. Because those cars can have issues that you can't see. Right. Like it's not a visual, like walk up, look at the car and, oh, hey,
Well, when you start talking about doing a compression test and things like that, now you're talking thousands for a PPI.
Right. It is a big deal, but on a 355, I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Versus like a 488. I mean, most of anything that you're going to find wrong with the 488, you're going to be able to walk around the car and visually see. Like if a turbo is going out, you're not going to really be able to see it. It might throw a code about a turbo boost issue or whatever, but he's trying to bribe you.
He sent us 50 cents.
Yeah, 50 Canadians not worth that much, man. If you come here in person, JS, we'll show you.
Oh God, the over rev people. Oh Lordy, they drive me nuts.
Yep.
Yeah, and dealership PPIs can be motivated by the dealership to try and get you to spend a bunch of money fixing your car with them, right? So that's
or the opposite of no, there's nothing wrong, so that you'll come back and do a bunch of service, right?
Right. Yeah, it's so weird. I don't know. PPIs are hit and miss. I don't know. When we buy a car, we obviously don't do PPIs because we just trust our own judgment and we go look at the cars ourselves. So that's kind of it for us.
Yeah.
Did you get McMedic for Tyler's car? McMedic did some work on your car.
He did a post-purchase inspection. I didn't do a pre.
Which is funny because it wouldn't have uncovered the stuff that broke anyway.
No, it wouldn't have, and it didn't uncover like that the rear. Forget which side. The Brad found it when he did the paint correction. Like that's been resprayed. Like that didn't find that. Like
yeah.
So yeah, like he found a lot of good things. He found a GPS tracker on it that we ripped out. Like
oh yeah. I forgot about that.
It was worth the money, but he was also fixing some things that we knew like needed to be fixed right away, like the coolant line that ruptured and couldn't drive it. But yeah, like it was just like, well, while you're here, just look it over and let me know what else needs to be done. Like,
yeah.
But no, I didn't get a PPI.
What are some good sites to visit with the VIN to find information about it? Google.
Oh, Google's so good. Those like Ukrainian car auction sites that come up and it's like, oh, look at how messed up this car used to be.
Yep. Honestly, I mean, you have to you do everything you can, right? You pull every resource you have.
Yep. I like VinWiki as well. Like if you're really dead set on a car, like you can see where that car's been. If
really,
yeah,
I've had zero. Like
I've had zero luck with VinWiki too.
Type in the license plate or the VIN if you see it in pictures and stuff, and I've had 15%, 20% luck. Like
I guess if it shows up there, it's probably good, but
yeah, if it doesn't show up, you're like, oh, whatever. But
yeah, okay.
It's interesting. Like you can see past times it's sold because people track VINs with that site through there, like a bunch of other stuff.
The problem about an aftermarket powertrain warranty is it's probably far more expensive than PPI.
Yeah,
I mean, many thousands of dollars versus $1,000. But I feel like for a substantial portion of the exotic cars, the powertrain's not usually the concern. You know?
Yep.
Oops. My PPI identified issues to fix, but the car was blue, so I would have basically bought it under any circumstance. Right?
Yep.
You're like, well, these things are wrong with it. I guess that's fine. Moving along.
It's got low compression on one cylinder. You still want it?
Right? Yeah. Which of the paid services are worth it? I mean, I think our paid services are pretty worth it. Like when people hire us to do consultations, I think it's a pretty, like I've tried to price them very reasonable, and we've definitely, like the amount of money we've been paid to do consultations versus how much money we've saved people, we've definitely saved orders of magnitude more money than was spent on us.
So I think if they're not doing this, then they shouldn't be doing a PPI. Yeah, absolutely should be scanning.
At a minimum, plug it in the computer.
Yeah.
But that's the problem, is even then people clear out codes and whatever. So I mean,
our scan tools, I can go in and see if anybody has cleared the codes.
Yeah, it tells you when, how many miles or whatever it's gone since the last clear.
You can also check the odometer to make sure that, you know, there's no mileage rollback and things like that.
Yeah, we try to.
Have we had to arbitrate cars at auction? Yes, we have.
Yeah.
They're at auction for a reason for the most part.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Carfax, AutoCheck, Car Vertical. I mean, Carfax is kind of like the ubiquitous one.
That's the one people don't care about any of the other ones. So if it has a wreck on AutoCheck and it's a clean Carfax, I mean,
we've pretty much never had someone be like, give me the AutoCheck. They've always say, can you give me the Carfax? So yeah. Have we ever purchased cars abroad for the dealership? No. It's an extra layer of shit that I don't think we were ready to deal with.
It's just a lot of work, and there's not really any advantage to doing that unless it was some super rare car or some great deal or something.
I mean, this is a little bit funny because when you saw how much damage was on that car, like, there's no way that you were like, oh yeah, that car's gonna be fixed. Like, you know, that to me, when I saw it, he was like, "Oh, I'm buying this because it'd be an easy fix." I'm like, dude. When he said how much he paid for it, I immediately was like, "You're losing your ass." And now that he's into it, I'm like, "Yep, you're losing your ass." That no, man, that was.
We don't buy any cars with damage or bad Carfax. We try not to. If it's a trade-in or something, maybe we'll take it, but we're gonna, the price will reflect that.
Well, yeah, if we're just straight up buying one, generally speaking, we do not want that because even if it's been done right and fixed right, it's just that much harder to sell. Richard's 458 is in VinWiki. That's funny.
See, that's like you see random shit in VinWiki. Like
interesting.
It's interesting.
The Texas Drive. We actually were discussing this right before the live started. There's 2 time frames of when we're debating doing it, and Tyler was unavailable for one of those time frames, so it might be the second time frame.
Yeah.
The first option was we were going to do it during when we were planning on doing the tour, but Tyler's unavailable for that.
Yep.
So I think we're leaning towards the second thought, which was the week after F1. And the logic behind that is there's probably people who would want to come to Austin for F1 anyway. So they come to Austin, watch F1, and then after the weekend we go for a drive. And then plus we're going to be all amped up after F1,
yeah.
And if you really are motivated, you could come before F1 and there'll be events before F1 too.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be a Howard party or something.
Yeah.
Not that everyone can come to those, but
right.
Friends of friends can.
Right. And we're debating doing some sort of something at the shop. So that could be like a hell of a, I don't know, 7-ish days or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Never looked at cars in Mexico. Never have.
Yeah. Someone mentioned before, and maybe you purposefully ignored this, but it's a spicy topic, so I figured to talk about it. Before you had the dealership, you advocated for PPIs more than you do now. I think I know why, but
I've learned a lot more since then.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many PPIs now that I've seen it. A lot of them are shit.
Well, what triggers my mind is that video with Josh, and he's going through that other PPI that someone paid for that was just, oh, this car's perfect. And then it was like, he's found how many thousands of dollars of stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was definitely a pivotal moment. In my opinion of PPIs is like how much that PPI missed that was easy to identify and didn't take him much effort to identify.
Yeah.
I should be clear on something. I'm not saying don't get a PPI. I'm not advocating against them. What I'm saying is have your expectations correct. And in many cases, I don't know that the PPIs are worth the money. Or I think there's other options. It sucks because it's in an ideal world, you would have a friend or someone who knows these cars really well and is a trusted source that you could bring with you or fly out there or whatever. Right. And I'm which is kind of like me promoting myself and Josh because that's what we do. But I feel like that's more valuable than a PPI in many instances. Because to be clear, when Josh and I go out and look at a car for a consultation, we don't necessarily do a full true technical PPI because a lot of the places won't let us put the car in a lift or take panels off or whatever. So we can't. Yeah. Right. And that's the other thing is a lot of places you can't get a true PPI with a on-off panel and checking out stuff or whatever. But I don't think that that's necessarily always needed, right? All you really to me, the ultimate goal of a PPI is, should you buy this car at this price? That's the question that wants to be answered. And that's what we do our best to try and answer. Are you going to be happy with this car paying this much for it? Knowing that these things could be wrong with it. These things could be wrong with it and they're acceptable. These things are wrong with it and they're not acceptable. These are things that are going to go wrong with it, whatever, right? So, yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
Is it even possible to put a public road tour with police escorts and those speed limits? Yes, you can actually. People have done. They do one in Texas every year.
Yeah. You just pay for the police and they come shut the roads down. It's awesome.
Obviously, like the further out in the middle of nowhere you are, the easier it is and cheaper.
Yep.
How much does a minor on a Carfax lower a car sales price?
If it's an exotic, 20%.
Yeah, it can be a lot. F1 Vegas, Autobahn, Rome. I mean, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's a hell of a trip.
Yeah, all of those sound good. Yes, this is actually accurate. A good PPI, the person doing the PPI needs to know that car, like that model. That they have to, and that's part of my problem with the PPI is that a lot of them are. You've got a technician, and this is not meant to be an insult to technicians, but the technicians are looking at mechanical whatever, right? They aren't necessarily looking from the business or financial aspects. And I think this is where Josh and I bring something different to the table is we own these cars. We buy these cars regularly. Like we buy and sell them. I've owned them. He's owned them. We've worked on them. So we've not got just the technical side of it. We've got the business side of it. We got the ownership experience side of it. There's a lot more to the car than just here's its technical merits. Here's its mechanical position, right? And I think that's a lot of no PPIs do that. We're the only ones who actually bring that to the table. So it's something that's completely unique to the situation. So there you go. How much has someone ever paid in cold cash?
Too much.
We had a guy. We're
90.
not going to say what car it was, but he gave us 90 grand in cash.
Yeah.
And I had to count all of it, and it took me a little bit to count it.
And then I had to take it to the bank, and it took forever for the machines to count it all.
When I was working retail in college, I had to take 16 grand in cash one day to the bank. And I was like, you morons left this in the store overnight? Like,
yeah. I didn't like having to carry that much cash on me. I know like no one knows you're carrying that much cash, but I'm like, God, if someone found out I had this much cash on me right now, I'd be dead.
Yeah. Well, wearing a backpack in a bank is a big giveaway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I'm like, what do you do? Bring in a brown paper bag or briefcase is pretty, like, there's no real easy way to do it. So
burlap sacks with a $ sign on them.
Right. Yeah. go Scrooge McDuck. Oh, man.
I think the answer to this is 90 days. Nope, not that question. Damn it, the chat's moving too quick.
I know, right?
90 days.
Yeah, we don't like cars sitting for more than 90 days. Did you make it rain? No. That'd be annoying as hell, having to gather up all the money.
Oh, that'd been a hell of a video, though. Do you still have like 50 grand in that fake money?
Oh, I got huge stacks of fake money.
We should do that.
It's somewhere around here. Oh, I've got my trillions.
Ooh. Nice.
They're sealed and whatever because they're worth more that way. We won't go into that whole thing. Where is it? Oh, maybe I brought it to the stub. I used to have it here. I don't know. Whatever. Content idea. Bring a fry to a dealer for a PPI, then go over what they missed. It's not a terrible idea.
It's an expensive one, but
I know, right? Ooh. Spend $1,000 to make $40 on a video. So yeah, probably not going to happen. How many cars have we sold with crypto payments? 2?
A couple.
2 or 3?
Yeah. 3, I think.
3, yeah. Oh, God. You made her carry that much cash through the airport? No, thanks.
Yeah, jeez.
I think if it's over 10 grand, the TSA can confiscate it and hold it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think you got to declare it, right? Like
I
think when you check in, you can actually declare if you have over 10 grand, and then you're fine. But God, that seems like I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Someone told me, I don't know if this is true or not, but the new bands and the new 100s, they can see in the radar machines, so they can easily see if you have stacks of cash. But
it makes sense.
Makes sense. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did. A guy did a contest. He referred a car to me that I bought, and I said that if someone referred a car to me and I bought it, I would split 1/3 of the net profit when I sold the car. And so I did. And when I sold the car, he got a couple grand. So I sent it to him in cash with this.
That was a while ago. Yeah,
that was like 5 years ago, probably more than that. Yeah. Oh, I'm pretty sure they're not my friend already.
Yeah, they already don't like Dan.
I don't think they like me. Oh God, yeah, the Chase Bank money glitch that's been going around. Oh, those idiots! That I love that one. Oh, it's international, not to. Well, for sure you got to declare it on international.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know, man. If you got like 90 grand cash and you're bringing it through the airport, domestic, yeah, I don't know about that.
That's sketch. Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah, I don't think I want to deal with that. I don't like having a lot of cash on me. I $100, $200 for an emergency in case like your car breaks down in your middle of nowhere or something. Like just enough money to bribe someone to get out of a bad situation. Always keep at least. I like to always keep at least $100 in my wallet for just such an emergency. That's it. That's all I have. The rest of it, it's all credit cards.
Or on the tour of Colorado, it was hide $2,000 in your car somewhere if we need bail money.
Well, that was And on a trip like that, it's not a bad idea to have everyone carry a couple grand cash stashed in your car. That way, if someone gets arrested, we can pool the money together and bail them out.
Yep.
But different situation. 200,000 in a purse. Oof.
No thanks.
No. I mean, it's physically a large. Like the 90,000 is like that big a stack. I mean, it takes up some space.
It's smaller than in the movies, but bigger than you think.
Yeah. So, yeah, an asset forfeiture. Like if you get busted in some like podunky little town, they just take your money. Yeah, God, it sucks. No, thank you. Stacks. I've got stacks of bills, but not stacks.
Golf clap for that one.
That's
very nice.
Generally my problem, right? I keep 500 ones because you never want to go to.
No, it's 502 in $2 bills. Greg, come on.
Oh yeah, twos. Gotta get those 200.
Yeah.
Just in case Dan is in downtown Austin and homeless needs some help, right? Hustling. We talk about hustling. We're talking about making money and do business. That's all hustling.
Yeah.
We're hustling, man. We're trying our best to make some money. It's tough right now. We're having a hell of a time finding cars to buy. My God. It's crickets out there. There is just nothing of interest. Like very, very few good cars that are for sale right now. They're all like half of them are overpriced, and the ones that aren't overpriced aren't like cars that you want for whatever reason, options, color, something, whatever. Yeah. We give out $2 bills as tips when in the British Virgin Islands. They're probably like, is this even real money?
Everyone knows you're at a strip club, though, so
yeah,
just do with that as you will.
Yeah, our insurance is astronomical. It's more than our mortgage on the building.
Dang,
that's true. Yeah, right. You still have that 458?
Dang.
I thought you got rid of it already.
If it's still for sale, it's overpriced.
Probably. Honestly, what we're seeing right now is when things are priced right, gone.
Oh, it's immediate.
Yeah, instant. Like the demand for good priced cars in the market is huge.
Yes, this is a really good point, and it's 100% true. There are a lot of clowns and green peas in the car business. It's really hard.
Green peas?
Yeah. Rookies, whatever you want to call them.
Okay, can I just say that having Josh as your business partner when you run a dealership, it's hilarious and also like depressing because he's already seen everything, and every time we do whatever, you're just like, oh, this is going to be bad or this is going to be good or whatever. And it's like, holy shit. And you're almost never wrong. It's just, it's mess. I love when we're going to like an auction, you see all these people bidding on it, whatever. It's like, oh, all these guys are rookies. They're going to get their ass handed to them and stuff. You're that guy sitting on a lawn chair as someone drives by his neighborhood going, slow down. Except for the equivalent in the car business world. You're like, you're screwed.
I've seen a lot of guys go out of business since I've been doing this, a lot. And it's all for the same reasons.
Yep.
I love it.
On that note, I need more beer. Be right back.
Fair enough.
Yeah, every business has it. You know, they either think there's some crazy opportunity or they see something and they're like, oh, I got to get involved in that. And they come in thinking they know what they're doing. And the guys that have been around a while just kind of laugh at them.
Yep. There's this one we can answer. I haven't broken out the cost of the deferred maintenance I knew I had versus the unexpected issues, so it's been enough. But I don't know.
Enough.
That's the best way to put it. Enough. Some of it was like, I spent what, 10 grand on an exhaust too, so
best money you spent on that car.
Yeah.
It is pretty impressive how much better it sounds.
Oh my god. Night and day difference. And even like seasoned McLaren people are like, what exhaust do you have on that? Because that actually sounds really good. So.
Nice.
I'll take it.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, it's a good sound. Yep. Very good. What I think is we're seeing a lot of right now in the auto world is the number of people who are transitioning the mental thought of owning these cars from I'm going to make money in this car to I own a car. And that's tough. All these people are having a hard time with that.
Yep.
You are not going to make money on this thing that you thought you were going to make money on because that's how it normally works.
The best is when they want to sell us their car and they say, oh, look what they're selling for. And it's like a Bring a Trailer ad from a year ago. And I'm like, things have changed,
or they go find
a year ago and they owe more than the car's worth.
They go find the car that's listed on Auto Trader that's been up there for 6 months, and it's like 50% higher than any other car. Like, look, this is how much they're selling for. It's like, no, that's how much some dumbass listed this car for.
Yeah, listed does not equal sell.
Right,
like, Fred.
I'm not drinking Bud Light.
It's rebranded. It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
I think it's
same company. How about that?
No, that's true.
Bud Light tastes like piss.
And slightly different.
I actually agree with this. I want enthusiasts to get back into the car ownership world. Like,
it should be that way. It should be that way.
Let's have car owners like cars.
It'll weed out the guys that are in it to try to make a quick buck.
And let's be honest, when you're like talking to people who own the cars that are those people, it's really obvious and immediate, and you're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go over here.
This is a good question, and it's a lot of times it's not so much what's the offer, it's how they make the offer. You know,
That's true.
if somebody says, if we have a car listed for 200 grand and someone says 150K wire ready, I'm like, delete. You don't even respond. But if someone says, hey, would you consider 185, then okay, it's worth a conversation because we're close.
Yeah.
So I would say anything like 10% or better in our favor, we'll have a conversation. And if they want more than 10%,
Well,
it's usually,
if you're off by 25 to 50%, you're going to get ridiculed.
Yeah.
There's not a single car dealer on the market who's listing a car that has a 25% margin. So, it's like if we list a car for 150 and I'll give you 100, it ain't going to happen. It's just no. It's so stupid. How does Josh know what pee tastes like?
I knew someone was going to ask that. That was inevitable.
Yeah.
Right. The funny thing about the wire ready people, we've actually called them out multiple times just for shits and giggles, and zero have ever actually had the money. It's so funny. Like, you list a car, like the Scud, I listed it for 175, and the number of $120,000 wire ready offers I got was insane. And I so badly should have just been like, yep, I'll take it. And none of those guys would have had the money.
Mm-mm.
Well, and sometimes, they'll make a decent offer. We're like, okay, we'll take it. Wire ready. And then all of a sudden, we have to jump through a bunch of hoops. So the wire is not ready.
Or well, actually, I need to get financing.
Or I have to cash in my CD and wait for my money or whatever. It's like, no.
Yeah. That whole, God, it's so frustrating. That even the person who makes a reasonable offer, but it's still on the very low end of what we want, and then they are like, oh, but I have like all these extra hoops that you guys have to jump through in order to make this deal happen. It's like, come on, bro. Like, that's no. Like, if we're gonna if we're not gonna make any money on the car, we're not gonna work harder to sell the car. Great example. When we were selling that GT3, we were losing our ass on that car. And I flat out told the guy buying it, I'm like, I'm losing money on this car. I'm not going to work hard to make this deal happen. And he understood. He's like, okay. I'm like, because I'm not going to work really hard to lose a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make sense to me. So you're going to have to do a lot of that. Anyway.
Good stuff.
I have seen that 355 tribute car. It's way too expensive.
I haven't seen it.
It's like a Singer. It's like a Singer version of
really?
a Ferrari. Yeah, it's pretty cool, but it's like I forget how much it is. It's ridiculous. It's really, really expensive.
And $2,000 is usually our default deposit. Non-refundable, 7 days. That usually it's small enough that it's not going to break the bank. It's big enough that you don't want to like mess around with it, right?
I don't think a female has bought a car from us.
Yeah, we sold a couple.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we have done a few. Yeah, I guess you're right.
I mean, 10% is pretty hard. Like, getting a car for less than 10% from a dealer is pretty tricky.
Most dealers, I would say vast majority, if you offer 10% under what they're asking, you're probably not going to get anywhere.
They're going to tell you to pound sand. That's pretty far off.
And if you're a serious buyer, why embarrass yourself? Because if you go in and offer some low number, it's fine, but a lot of times they're just going to hang the phone up and start laughing at you.
Yeah.
But people try, and you might as well try unless you really want the car.
I guess I'm not sure how a dealer-to-dealer transaction would yield a better pricing for your customer. You're saying, like, if we have a customer that found a car that's at a dealer and we buy it into our dealership, can we get them a better price? That has happened many times where we talk to it. So like to clarify, if you're going to hire us to do consultation to help you buy a car, do not call anyone about that car until you talk to us, because if you do, we can't really negotiate anymore. Because now what happens is, like, they have this car. Let's say you have this car that's been sitting on the lot for 4 months. Someone calls on it, and then you call us, and now we're calling on that same car. Then they get 2 calls in the same day or the same week or whatever. They're like, shit, we're going to sell this car. They're not going to negotiate. Or if you blow the wad and you tell them some number or whatever, now they're anchored at that number and we can't get them off of it. So call us first before you call a dealership. Don't call a dealership if you're going to have us help you. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, if we're not involved, I don't give a shit. Do whatever you want.
How do you do your offer when buying? A million different ways.
Yeah.
It just depends on the situation.
You got to feel out the customer. I mean, I would tell you, there's never been ever a conversation I started and the first sentence gave a number. Like, if you want to show that you're not a serious buyer, like, first thing you do is throw out a number. If you start the conversation with a low number, the conversation's already over. Like, we're not getting there. So at least talk about the car. Find out, because the thing is, there's so many questions that could affect the number.
Yeah.
So the first thing I do is I need to find out about this car. So I'm going to ask you questions about the car. Then I'm going to give you a number after I determined, okay, these are things I can or cannot live with. These are things that are good or bad or whatever, blah, blah. I always offer high plus 3%.
Yeah. Hugh, I'll sell you a car right now.
I got a bunch of cars.
The worst is when they, ask about a car and we talk about it for a while and come to a price and they're like, oh, by the way, I have a Pontiac Aztek I'd like to trade in.
Yeah.
I want full retail for it. Otherwise, I'm not doing this deal.
Or my favorite is, like, someone calls, they make us jump through like 80 hoops, all these questions, lots of conversation, phone calls, whatever. And then they're like, okay, now that I know all the data, I'll give you 40% off. You're asking.
Yeah, here's my offer.
Like, come on, dude. Like, get real. I'm not going to go there. Like, you just wasted both of our time.
Yep.
It's going to take more than that, Hugh. Sorry.
Oh, you're 356?
Yeah.
Is there a number at which you would just walk away? I mean, I'm sure there is, but have you thought
probably. I don't know, maybe like 60. I mean, one just like it that wasn't actually as nice sold on Bring a Trailer for 60 grand plus the fees. So.
All right.
Has anyone ever offered more after it's sold or a deposit received? Yes.
Yep.
That's happened many times. And we don't take it. Sorry. Once we have we, unlike other dealerships that start with start with the C and end with an Aereo, we honor deposits. I mean, that's happened. There's this weird thing, some sort of cosmic force that every time we sell a car or have a deposit on the car, we immediately get another offer that's better. My God, that's happened like.
Yeah, happens a lot.
Dude, it happened with the GT3. We're losing our ass on this GT3. We finally get a deposit on it, and like the next day, we got two calls for it.
Dang.
And both those people were like, "Oh, we'll pay full price," and I'm like, "It's already got a deposit." Well, how serious a deposit? I'm like, "It's a deposit."
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you full price. I'm like, "It doesn't matter. It's a deposit." Sorry.
Jeez. The hard part of being honest, right?
Yeah, I know, right? What's
Anthony? It just depends. It just depends on, like, are you at a Honda dealer or are you at a Ferrari dealer?
Yeah,
I mean, it really depends. Are you private party?
Then, you can tell when a car, like, where it's at compared to what the market's at for that car. You know, like there are cars that we see that are priced really appropriate, and we're like, wow, this is a really good deal. If they even move $1 or $2,000, it's even better, but that's probably all you're gonna get. And we see other cars where like it's so overpriced. I'm like, shit, you know, like they've got a $30,000 margin on this car. So if they came down 10 grand or 12 grand or 15 grand, they're still doing all right. So that's what I'm gonna try and do. Like it just depends.
Yep.
So
and it also depends on new versus used. Like new
sure.
dealerships, like I don't know if Ford does this, I don't know about other brands, but the dealer buys the car from Ford. Depending on their status with Ford, the Ford will pay them back a certain percentage once they sell the car. But it depends on their level with Ford, and so that depends on how much money they can give you back, and like, you can't ask for much on new.
I mean, I would say most of the time, a dealership that has decent volume, if you get 2 to 5% off, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah,
that's about it. 10% is very unusual.
Oh yeah,
very, very unusual. So,
and that's why these cars that are listed at COVID prices aren't selling, because people come in and offer a realistic price that's way more than 10%, and they get told to pound sand.
Right.
Eventually, those cars have to be paid for, and someone's going to lose money. Might be a bank. Who knows? I mean, yeah, it's not going to be.
Yeah.
Fred, I'm doing the K van.
Nice.
Yes. Can't wait for that.
That's going to be cool.
I mean, it's really hard to put a value on some of these exotic cars. So, like a typical normal car, yes, everyone. For example, Porsches.
Well, the only reason for that, it's easy to value it because I can look at the data and there's way more transactions to base it off of. So it's a lot easier to narrow it down.
But if you're talking like a Ferrari, 430 or whatever, it's, yes, you can still kind of gauge it, but it's there's a wide variance, right? It's harder to know. And then when you start getting to even less volume cars than that, it gets even harder. So that's why, I mean, a huge problem I've had with the Scud is a ton of the people interested in buying it are like, I just don't know what this thing is worth. Like, because yeah, I can kind of see what the Scuds are worth that are selling, but there's none that are totaled that are put back together for sale. Especially with this low of miles. Like, how do you value, like, there's nothing to compare it to. So that's why I was like, well, I'm discounting it $75,000 to $100,000 off of what it would be if it was clean. So basically 1/3 off the price of the car because it was totaled, which seems to be pretty aggressive in my opinion. Negotiation is not disrespectful. Negotiation is fine. It's totally expected. It's when people, and here's the thing, if you come in, if you throw out a low ball, you can't get all butthurt when the dealer is like, no. I mean, if someone gives me a low ball and it's depending on how bad the low ball is, I may not counter. I might just walk away because I don't see the point in trying to, like, again, if I list a car, so, okay, right now we've got the converted 430 for sale for $135,000 or 136, whatever it is, right? Somewhere in there. If I get an offer for 110, I'm going to be like, well, this person isn't serious about buying the car because that's not even how much an F1 car is going to go for. It's below what an F1 car equivalent is worth. So they aren't worth my time. So my usual response is, thanks for the offer. And that's it.
I like to tell people we're too far apart.
And I've done that too. And then they're like, well, what number can you do? And I'm like, 136 or whatever the current number is. Because we're so far off, I'm not going to even move. There's no point because you're not going to come up to where I need you to be. So that's the problem is, like, if you come off too far off, it makes the gap become unbridgeable, right?
Especially right out the gate. Whereas if you had a conversation and like, oh, well, I'm not really, this thing's damaged and, I kind of want a little bit less off. That's different than coming right off the gate.
Right. If you start saying, well, and the other thing, okay, this is also a negotiation tactic that does not help you. And I'm giving you guys a pro tip. Bitching about the taxes and fees that you have to pay to register the car has no effect on me. I don't give a fuck about those. Those are not my problem. You have to pay those either way. So I will not discount your car to accommodate the fact that you live in a state that has shitty taxes. Not my problem. Right? Because those don't affect me. That has no bearing on how much I paid for the car or how much the car is worth. Those are things that the government's doing to you. Bitch to your governor or whoever.
Fair.
So I hate that. I hate those ones or like, oh, I'm going to have to pay $2,000 to ship it across the country. So did I.
Find a car that's local if you don't want to pay the shipping.
I mean, if you have a problem with that, like, yeah, and let's be real, it's usually California.
I feel sorry for you guys in California.
Oh man.
I mean, you can't do anything. You can't modify your cars. You got to pay ridiculous registration fees. You got to deal with inspection, state, emissions inspection and all that. I mean, it's rough. It's rough.
At some point, I mean, as a dealer, at some point we say, yeah, it's listed for some number and we've got something in it and I'm just going to get rid of it to get rid of it. Sure. That's when we do stuff like have the GT3 take a loss. We bought that car. The market changed. We knew that we needed to get rid of it because the opportunity cost of keeping that car was more expensive than taking the loss on the car. So it became let's get rid of it, even if we take a loss, because we free up that money so we can go make more money using that money. So yes, we lost 15 grand on it, but we'll make that back probably in 1 or 2 cars.
Yeah, the opportunity cost wasn't worth holding it.
No, because we weren't going to make that gap. Like we weren't going to break even on that car. So the longer we hold it, the more it costs us because the more interest. So do you cut your losses now and just get rid of it? Or do you keep accumulating more interest and more expenses to keep it to maybe shrink how much you're going to lose? So instead of losing 15 grand, maybe we only lost 10 grand, right? But maybe that was 2 more months. So in 2 more months, how much more interest are you accumulate? 3 grand? So now you're still losing 12 or, whatever. I don't know.
Yep.
How many cars have we sold?
I don't know. A lot.
It's got to be getting close to 100, right?
Yeah, I think it's over 100.
I don't know. A decent amount. Like, I don't think it's that many. And then I start trying to remember all the cars we sold. And I'm like, oh shit, I can't.
Yep.
Or like if I go through the folder of all the cars we've sold, I'm like, damn, that's a lot of stuff in there.
Hey, Gabe's here.
Oh, Gabe. What's up, Gabe? Nice.
Yeah, it's over 100.
Truck worked out? Awesome. Good to hear.
Good. It's over 100. Nice. Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. The new sound cameras or whatever.
Sound cameras? Oh, my God.
So lame.
Boo.
Well, you live in those states. That's what you vote for. That's what you get. I have no sympathy.
Haven't we been talking about cars this entire time?
Who's high? It's okay.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
On that Canadian dirtweed.
Oh, man.
Oh, I've done that I've done that multiple times.
Yeah. I'm gonna be very sad to see the Scud go, but it needs to happen. I missed my 458. I really wanted to keep that car too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of what else has there been any like cars that we bought specifically for the dealership that I'm like, oh man, I should have kept this one. I don't know. Three-way GTSs are cool.
Yeah, they are very. I think they're pretty cool.
I think they're already kind of there. Their values are kind of creeping up still. So,
I mean, Fred's got one for sale.
We've kind of decided that if your car's modified in any way, we're gonna tear it up. We're gonna offer way less for it.
Yeah,
because people want cars that are stock. They don't want modified cars.
The problem is we eliminate the entire ability for us to sell to California.
And in New York,
yeah, that's part of it.
And yeah, like the number of, let's be real, the places that people want these cars are a lot of the places that can't have modified cars. So, yeah. Actually, we just, not even exhaust, but just modified cars, period. We don't like buying because they're harder to sell.
I hate cars with aftermarket wheels.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Please give me the stock wheels. I don't want your aftermarket wheels. I don't care how cool they are or whatever. I don't want them.
I agree with that.
Because nobody else wants them.
Yeah, it's too individual.
It's a personal thing.
99% of the time, I want the stock wheels, not your taste. Yeah.
Yeah. It makes it much, much harder. Yeah. The funny thing is, when I'm actually buying a car for myself, I love.
I mean,
I've already done the exhaust.
My 430 is modded to the max. I mean, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. But for reselling, like for the dealership stuff, and I don't expect to get any of the money back for the mods that are on my 430 when I sell it.
Exactly.
Yep.
I love buying a car that's already got a bunch of mods that I want done. Like, dude, both my 458 and my 430 were suspension lowered, wheels, exhaust, like all this crap, and I'm like, hell yeah, I don't have to.
I don't have to do it.
Yeah, that's like 30 grand shit.
We are anomalies. Most people don't want that stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. And your 458 did sound epic. Like even like 3 cars back through Ken, you feel that downshift like hit you. Like, oh man.
Yeah, that was a good. Yeah, I do miss that.
We don't have high energy costs in Texas at all.
I don't know
where you get that from.
My power costs.
Our property taxes are high.
Property
the energy cost is probably some of the lowest in the country.
Yep.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we are conditioned the bejesus out of our shop, and it's not that much.
Yeah, we have no state income tax either.
Well, it'd probably still be cheaper if there was state income tax and lower property, but
I would prefer that
for homeowners. Yes,
for homeowners, yeah. For non-homeowners, it's great.
Now that we own our shop and we don't get any exemptions, I definitely would like to see that. No, our property tax sucks. There's
ways around
it. We're not even the worst either. There's other states that are way worse than we are, and they still have state income tax too.
Yep.
So I mean, our tax burden is high in Texas overall, but it's nowhere near some other states.
Yeah, you just need ag exempt, and you're good to go.
Well, you have to have 10 acres for that.
No, you can do it with 1. You just gotta be in the right area that does
you
it.
Can't do it.
Isn't in Austin.
So you can't be in the incorporated city area and stuff, right?
Exactly.
You have to be in like an ETJ or something like that. I mean, I can't do it in my HOA because the HOA would prevent the things I would need to do.
Yes.
We probably could get the stub to do it.
You could do bees or something there, right?
Probably, but it'd be a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be worth it. Well, maybe there. Who knows?
It might be worth it, man. Like,
it'd still be a pain in the ass.
It'd be a pain in the ass. But, I mean, if it saves us like $30,000 a year, I'll raise some damn bees for 30 grand.
Yeah.
I'll get stung a couple times a year for 30 grand. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, no shit. Oh man.
Oh man. Jeez, wow. A lot of comments.
No, Jeff, they added like almost a gigawatt of battery backup to the grid. So this year's there's no power alerts or anything all summer. So good to go.
Let's see here. I'm not sure. Porsche Tucson has a Ferrari for sale for $95,000. Has automatic, comes with what? Has automatic, comes with manual transmission. Needs work. You can do it. What Ferrari is it?
It's probably a 430, I would guess.
I'm thinking of 360 for $95,000.
Porsche Tucson.
Well, if
isn't that a Hyundai?
That's one thing that's funny is a lot of people will send us like a link. They're like, "Oh, look at this good deal," and we look at it, we're like, "This is a terrible deal."
Yeah.
Dude, that car is long gone. It was sold, I don't know,
A month ago, maybe.
and
Month and a half, maybe.
we had it for a total of like a week. It was so. It was hi, bye. Thanks.
Nice. Walked into that one.
Yeah. Lord. All right, it's 9:32.
Oop.
Jeez, that goes by fast. It always goes by fast, right?
Yep.
Man, it's crazy. Cheapest nice 430 here in Canada is 150 Canadian, which is like, I don't know, it's some dollars.
Is that like 110, 115 or something?
Somewhere around there, right?
That's about right.
Yeah. 110, 120, that'd be pretty good. That's about the cheapest 430s on the market right now in the US. So anyway, yeah, we'll I'm trying to think. By the way, I'm gonna apologize. We haven't really had much content coming out because I haven't been filming much because we've been busy and yeah, so deal with it. Sorry. I'm trying to film some more stuff. Any of you who are local to Austin, we are actually going to go to Cars and Coffee this weekend. First time in like 2 years. So we'll see you there if you're coming. I think we need to convince Josh to bring the Speedster.
Oh,
I would love to. It's just I don't want to drive it on the toll road.
Dude, we're gonna go to the Howard, and then we'll take. Well, you're still taking 183 toll.
Yeah, I mean it'll go like 70. Over 70, it's kind of sketchy.
True.
Yeah, we'll take our time.
I'll probably bring my 430.
Yeah, it's pretty cool too. I mean, oh no, I gotta take the Ferrari instead of.
Oh no, bummer. It's rough life.
Right? Oh, so bad. I'm gonna take the GT40.
Heck yeah.
Hell yes, that car needs to be seen. I want it. I want out. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week.
Yep. See you later.
Stuff. Yeah. So stay tuned. Bye.
Cheers.
Later.